Alright, so today I'm going to be drinking Ypióca Cachaça for the first time. Ypióca is a brand of cachaça from Brazil, and from what I've heard, it's one of the more popular brands within Brazil, and it does make sense, because Ypióca as a brand has been around for a very long time, since 1846 to be precise. What I have with me today in specific is the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça, which cost me $57.90 in Brazilian reals, or about $11.12 USD. For that price, I got 965 milliliters of cachaça with an ABV of 38%, a proof of 76, and I got a cachaça that was aged in oak barrels for, I've heard, 2 years or so. I have not yet tried an aged cachaça yet. This is not just going to be my first time trying Ypióca cachaça, it's actually going to be my first time trying aged cachaça in general as well. And overall, I'm looking forward to this experience. All of the cachaça varieties I've tried so far, they've been unaged, and honestly, I don't think they're really meant to drink straight. But this is a bottle that is advertised as something to drink straight. How will a cachaça that's meant to be drank straight actually be? What will it taste like? Will it be smoother than what I've experienced before? I don't know, but I'm very excited to find out, and I'm very excited to try Ypióca Cachaça for the first time today in general as well, I will acknowledge. But I do suppose, without further ado, after I go ahead and thank the sponsor of today's video, I should probably go ahead and quickly cover the look of the bottle now, shouldn't I? After that, I'm going to go ahead and get the cap all off. I'm going to smell the liquor on the inside, see just what it smells like. Then after that, I'm going to pour some of this Ypióca aged cachaça in a glass I have with me today. I'm going to take a sip and find out just how it really is, what it's really like, and what I really think of it. And once I'm done drinking, once I have a little bit of a buzz, I will then let you guys know my final thoughts on this cachaça and give it a rating as well. But first off, as said, I need to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is me. That's right, I'm the sponsor of this video today, as my new poetry book, Poems to Read While Smoking Cigarettes, is out now. The poems within this book, they're not good poems, but they are good poems to read while smoking cigarettes, and this is the absolute best book to buy if you want to, read a poetry book while smoking cigarettes. My new poetry book is available now on Amazon for $14.99. Links are in the description and comments down below. Make sure to go check it out if you are interested. But without further ado, now that I have talked a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, let's go ahead and quickly cover the packaging of the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça. And we can see that this bottle overall has a pretty unique look to it, I will acknowledge. The bottle shape itself is nothing too crazy by any means, but below the plastic cap, we go to a little bit of a glass just right there, but then right below that glass, it doesn't continue with glass like you would expect from a normal bottle. Instead, it goes to a sort of wicker-like material. And I don't say wicker-like design because this is a wicker-like material. This is not just put onto the bottle and painted or something like that kind of thing. This is like real wicker right here that is just surrounding the entirety of the bottle below the cap. It even wraps around to the very bottom of the bottle. Very interesting, I will acknowledge. And I gotta admit, I have never seen a single other bottle of liquor or alcohol or honestly anything else be wrapped in a material like this. That is pretty dang cool, in my personal opinion. I'm not sure what the significance of it is, but I do expect there to be some significance to the wrap of this bottle, I will acknowledge. But for all I know, maybe it's just meant to make this bottle look a little bit more distinct or stand out on the shelf just a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure. At the very top of the wicker, though, there is just a little bit of a, I would say, just string right here, kind of just holding everything together, I will acknowledge, kind of just bows out just a little bit, and we just go to the general normal shape of a bottle underneath that. Really, the main interesting thing about the design of this bottle is the wicker on it, I will acknowledge, and I also will acknowledge that that is one of the primary reasons why I bought this bottle right here, because I thought that it looked pretty interesting, I will acknowledge. Let's go ahead and take a look at the label itself, though, right here in the middle, and this label is just pressed, or not pressed, but just stuck right onto the wicker itself, which means that it is peeling up just a little bit in the edges. Wicker is not known as a particularly easy material to stick things to, and so these labels are not sticking the best by any means, but they work. They're sticking enough, I will acknowledge, and we can see that this is very much that of a square label with a black background, gold details, and a little bit of red as well. At the very top, though, up here, we can see we get a little bit of a circle kind of interrupting the square design of the label, and we get some keys just right there in gold. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys in total, and in the middle, it just says Decity 1846, which just means founded 1846 right there. And then on either side of that circle, on either side of these keys, we get a little bit of a gold border going around the design, just like that kind of thing. And that gold border is made up of what looks like a wicker pattern, once again referencing the actual wicker pattern on the bottle itself, which I think is a pretty nice tie-in, I will acknowledge. And below that gold right there, we can see the actual Ypióca design just right here in a very nice, bold red text that really does stick out just a little bit more so than not, in my personal opinion. Now, this text is not just red, though, I want to acknowledge. There is a very small gold border going all the way around all of the text. There's a little bit of shading, a little bit of a drop shadow to it as well that is made up of a darker red, and there's also some gold lines kind of adding into that shading as well. It might be kind of hard to see on camera, but that is all there, and it definitely does make the Ypióca logo itself just pop a little bit more so than not, in my personal opinion. Above the Ypióca logo right here, we can see there's some text right there on a I would have to say this looks like a brush stroke, and that text is all in black. I'm not exactly sure what that says, although I do think I will translate that in just a few minutes. But there's some text up there below the Ypióca logo itself right there. We can see in gold it just says Reserva right there. This is the Ypióca Reserva, so they gotta let you know, of course. And then below that it just says Cachaça envelhecida. I don't know exactly what envelhecida means, but maybe aged. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe that means aged. I'm not exactly sure, though, I will acknowledge. Under that, though, it says envelhecida em barris de Carvalho, which I translated before this video, and I believe that means aged in oak barrels, from what I remember at least. And then below this text right here, we have 4 little details right there, and those are all awards that this Cachaça won in 2016 and 2017. Apparently, this Cachaça won the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, the New York World Wine and Spirits Competition, the New York World Wine and Spirits Competition, and the Concours Mondial de Brules, I think is how it's pronounced. Although, of course, I do think it is worth acknowledging that it doesn't actually say whether this Cachaça actually won or not. It makes it look like it did with the labeling on it and everything like that, I will acknowledge. But it doesn't actually say that it did. Maybe it just participated. I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes the branding be like that, where it's trying to look like they won, but maybe they actually didn't. I don't know what's truly going on with this variety right here. And below these little labels, we go to a gold background, and that gold background has sort of an edge of that sort of twine design right here, or this sort of like basket-like design right here. And we can see that it just says that this bottle contains 965 milliliters. In the middle right here, it just reads Mês de 170 anos de Historia, Original do Ceará. I'll have to translate that, and then it just says alcohol percentage 38% right there. And that's really all that's going on with the front label, I will acknowledge. Nothing too crazy. Really, the main interesting thing about this bottle is the wicker on the bottle itself. But this design overall, it's a very clean, fresh design. Nothing too crazy, but in my opinion, the Ypióca logo itself kind of looks a little bit, I'm not going to say retro, but it is, in my opinion, a mildly retro. I will say retro, actually. And it's got a mildly retro, classic sort of look to it, in my opinion. A very ageless look, a very unaging look, if you ask me. And overall, I think it looks very solid. And overall, this label is just a very nice, clean design as a whole, I will acknowledge. Now, I want to go ahead and translate some of the text on the front of this label. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my secondary phone that I brought with me to Brazil for this exact reason and more. I also wanted to watch television on the plane with this phone as well, instead of burning up the battery on my camera that I normally use, my iPhone. But let's go ahead and take a photo of all of the text, and let's see if I can get this to tell me what all of the text says. It's not wanting to focus. Maybe I need to clean off the camera just a little bit or something like that kind of thing. Let's go and grab the bottle and see if I can translate some of this text. So we've got the text right there. It's trying to translate it. Let's take a look. Select all. Just says, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look. So it says, Carnal straw braided by hand. Okay, so apparently this is Carnal straw, and apparently the straw on this bottle was braided by hand, according to the label right here at least. That's pretty cool. Taking a look at the text on the front underneath the Ypióca name itself, let's see, what does it say? And let's just try to get that to focus, and there we go. And let's go ahead and select all the text and see what it says. So it just says, man, it didn't really translate very well. Just says, okay, here we go. So, Cachaça envelhecida just means age, it just means, as predicted, aged Cachaça. And then under that, the other text right here where my thumb is just means aged in oak barrels. And that's what that says right there. Now, what does it say on the label underneath? Let's go ahead and translate that as well if I possibly can. Let's see if I can do that. Scan. There we go. Let's see if I can go and translate that. I think that text probably means something along the lines of like 170 years of history or something like that. Let's take a look. It just says, yeah, more than 170 years of history, original from Ceará. And that's what the text on the front of the bottle says all in all. Overall, yeah, nice looking design, nothing too crazy design-wise on the label itself, but overall makes for a very unique looking bottle in my personal opinion, and overall, solid, clean look. That is a little bit different than what I'm used to. I've never seen another bottle of Cachaça with a look like this, so hey, this is pretty nice, I gotta admit. This is pretty nice. Without further ado, let's go and take a look at the back of the bottle. We can see the back of the bottle has another little label on it. We've got a market segmentation spiel right here in the middle in gold, going around the edges on that black background. We've got a similar wicker-like sort of gold sort of border, I would say. We could see a gold background down here with the barcode, which says where you can recycle this, and it says the ingredients as well. Just says the ingredients, and I think I'll actually translate this before I say it, but it does say gluten-free on the back of the bottle, which is very nice. Says don't consume alcohol excessively, and don't sell this alcohol to anybody under the age of 18 as well. Let's go ahead and translate the little market segmentation spiel in the middle right here. It just starts off at the top with Ypióca Reserva right there, and let's go ahead and translate the rest of it. Oh, one thing I did miss, there's some gray sort of lines on this with a little bit of a tree right there. I missed talking about that, but now I have mentioned it. Let's go ahead and now see if I can get my camera working and go ahead and translate the back of the bottle. Let's see. Here we go. Let's try that. And select all of the text, have it translate, and it just translates as, oh my goodness, that is a lot of text. Okay, so the market segmentation spiel on the back of this bottle just reads, from the knowledge acquired and the unparalleled quality from this centuries-old tradition, unforgettable recipes emerge in each bottle. Unmissable combinations for more than 170 years, Ypióca discovered each wood, discovered its flavors, and true Cachaça combined talent and nature, combined history, mastery, and the purest nobility. In the 1960s, a smooth and balanced drink aged in the best oak barrels emerged, and for all admirations, the handmade bottle comes from Carnauba, a typical tree from Sierra. The hand-braided straw is an impressive work. I will agree with that. This is Ypióca Reserve Aged, the award-winning Cachaça around the world. So apparently those awards were won. It's claiming at least. Whether it won first, second, or third place, or won 10th place, it doesn't say though. But it just says perfect to enjoy neat or in drinks on special days or at any time. And so that's what it says. I don't think my translation was perfect by any means. I don't think my translation was perfect. Basically, what they're trying to say is that the liquor I have with me today is of unparalleled quality from a centuries-year-old tradition, that Ypióca has been in the business for 170 years. They know what they're doing, and so that you should buy that bottle. It's won awards. It's got flavors from oak barrels, and it's also got a wicker wrapping on it. That's pretty much what they're trying to say, and overall makes sense. They're doing a decent job of selling their liquor, I will acknowledge. Overall market segmentation spiel, pretty decent, I will admit, pretty decent overall. And let's go ahead and translate the ingredients real quick as well. Let's see, did that already translate? It did not, so let's go ahead and try to translate those ingredients just real quick, if I can. Let's take a look if it wants to translate. Let's see. Got to scroll down just a little bit. So it just says, oh man, Cachaça aged in oak barrels, Cachaça water and caramel color. So apparently this does have caramel color in it. And then it just says, oh, that's it. So that's all of the ingredients. Okay. So yes, it contains aged Cachaça and then Cachaça with caramel color, or oh no, wait, no, okay, let me read this a little bit better. I think my translator is kind of messing up. So it just says, yeah, Cachaça aged in oak barrels, Cachaça, and then water with caramel color. So yes, this does have a little bit of a tinge to it. It's not quite a clear Cachaça by any means, but it's definitely not as dark as you might think for having been aged 2 years in oak barrels. So I suppose they wanted to add a little bit of caramel color. Kind of a shame for there to be caramel color in a quote-unquote award-winning Cachaça, I will acknowledge, but you know, it is what it is kind of thing. I'm hoping for a good experience, and if there's a little bit of caramel color, I'm not gonna let that spoil my experience by any means. I drink enough Coca-Cola to have a caramel color intolerance anyway. No, not a Coca-Cola intolerance or a caramel color intolerance. I have a caramel color addiction. Let me just put it that way. I love my caramel color, you know what I'm saying? And of course it does say no contain gluten as well, which is really nice to see, especially since this does contain caramel color. Some caramel colors do contain gluten, so it's really nice that they specify that this one does not. And yeah, that's really all that's going on with the back label just right here. And that's really all that's going on with the look of the general bottle itself besides the cap. We can see the cap itself is a black plastic. On the very top, it just says Ypióca right there, just recessed into it just a little bit. We get a little bit of the Ypióca sort of design that we saw on the front right there as well, that sort of key design. And then on the sides of the cap right here, it just says Ypióca in red 3 different separate times. And yes, that is now the entirety of the look of the bottle. I do think before I go ahead and get this all opened up, I first off want to grab myself just a little bit of a thumbnail real quick. The sun, it's going to be going down in around about 30 to 45 minutes. I don't know how long I'm going to be drinking, so while we have decent lighting, I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a little bit of a thumbnail, I will admit. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Gotta go for the Mr. Beast thumbnail, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do it. Yo, shout out Mr. Beast, for real. Shout out Mr. Beast from Brazil. I'm not the first person to shout out Mr. Beast from Brazil, but I'm one of the people who has now shouted out Mr. Beast from Brazil. Shout out Mr. Beast. All right, well, hopefully one of those will do. We will find out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move my camera back just a little bit like that, and I am gonna just set it down so y'all can see me actually open up this bottle. So let's go ahead and, oh my God, that's a bit tough. Okay, my hand, that hurt a bit. Let's try that again. Yeah, if I just do this, it's gonna keep spinning, so I need to, oh my God, ow. Oh man, oh man, oh my God. Oh, oof. Man. And I thought like medication child safety locks were kind of difficult. This is like next level. Oh my God. You gotta have the grip strength of somebody with more grip strength than me to open up this bottle. Oh, oh, ow, 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 ow. Ooh, how do I want to get this open? Because that ain't working. That ain't working. I don't think I'm just supposed to twist like this. Ow. Okay, that's hurting. I'm gonna go get a rag from inside the Airbnb I'm staying at, and I'm gonna try to use that rag instead of pulling apart my sleeve trying to get this opened. I'll be back in just a moment, y'all. All right, and we are back. We are back. I now have just a little bit of a rag. Let's see if I can do this without hurting my hand. Oh my God. Okay, this rag is definitely not gonna help with like, cause I've gotta like hold this and then twist this at the same time. I've got this. I don't need to ask a family member for help to open up my alcohol. Definitely not, because if I ask a family member for help to open my alcohol, guess what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to share my alcohol with them. And I don't wanna do that. I want all of my alcohol for myself. Scrooge McDuck, he's the GOAT. And y'all know what Scrooge McDuck do? He don't be sharing nothing. Just like Scrooge McDuck not sharing his money, I don't be sharing my alcohol. Nah. If one of my family members wants some of this, I will give them some. Oh God. Oh my God, what the hell? I feel like I'm doing something wrong, but like, I don't know what I could be doing wrong. Oh my God, what the hell? Right. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, so I am twisting it the right way. I'm just doing this just for a minute to see if this helps. I don't know if it will. But I think the issue is that it's stuck too much to like the bottom bit, I think. Opening alcohol bottles, I'm just gonna say, controversial take, should not be difficult. Maybe it's by design though. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God, what the hell? This is embarrassing. This is very embarrassing, I gotta admit. You wanna give this a go? Give this a go. My brother's gonna give this a go. Give it a go. Give it a go, really Eli. This is gonna be very embarrassing for me if you actually get this. I brought out the rag for a reason. No, it twists, but you have to hold the bottom and twist the top at the same time. That's weird. Yeah.
Why? Why does it twist?
Don't curse. I'm trying to get a good RPM. Okay. Use the rag. It might be easier. Ow. Yeah, it hurts, right? I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah, I can't get it. Yeah, it's just gonna be worse like that. Yeah, it's horrible.
Ow.
Yeah, see, I told you. I told you.
I go see if there's like a bottle.
No, true, yeah. Let me know, let me know. All right, so, turns out my family member could not open this bottle of Ypióca right here. They went into it very confident and had their ego shattered. I'm never gonna let them live that down. They were like, do you need help? And I was like, if I can't get it, you can't get it. And they thought they could anyway. They're weak. They're weaker than me. How the hell is this supposed to open? Like, I feel like what I might need to do is I might need to grab a knife and like, yeah, grab me a knife. Thank you. I don't know what's going on with this. This is probably the most difficult to open bottle of alcohol I've ever tried. Is this like a child safety lock thing or something like that? Like, I'm not exactly sure, but this is difficult. Opening alcohol should not be this hard. How am I supposed to open this alcohol if I am like blackout drunk in a ditch trying to drink more kind of thing and I can't even see my hands? That's how blackout I am kind of thing. How am I supposed to open this to drink more? I got some complaints on my behalf about opening this bottle, I will acknowledge. How does that work? Yeah, just hand it over to me. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the help. Thank you so much. But let's take a look. I'm just gonna kind of try to cut like that, or just, I'm cutting the right way, I am. So I'm just gonna kind of try to do, like, I don't even know if that's working.
Can I try?
You can give it a go in a minute. I just want to give this just a little bit of go. I don't want to embarrass myself by having my brother open my alcohol on my video.
You cut yourself, you can't post the video anymore. YouTube take blood.
That's true. I'll get demonetized if I... That's a good point. It's all you.
Me,
it's
however,
all you.
I'm fine.
You're not on
My
camera,
finger
so if
flies
your
across
finger flies off, we're still rolling. I'm not even...
It flies across the screen and we...
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, it's, no, we're gonna be good monetization-wise. Hey, don't cuss! I'm trying to stay monetized here. This channel's called jacobjonesMONEY.
The
Yeah.
the wrap is the problem.
No, it's not even that. It's just that the cap is stuck to that plastic bit on the bottom. So yeah, well, did you mean the like wicker wrap or did you mean the other
wicker
wrap? Okay, yeah, the wicker wrap does hurt your hand as well. I will not deny that. Don't cut the wicker wrap.
No, I'm cutting this.
No, that's not gonna work. Come on, do you see how thick that plastic is?
Oh, man. Well, I figured might as well cut the label.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. Oh man, I don't know what the deal is with this. This is crazy. Why? I'm feeling like this is a child safety thing or something like that because I was kind of like
So
when
you have the strength of an average 2-year-old.
Don't say that on video. You're trying to embarrass me. I see how it is.
Yep.
But I'll just edit that out. Don't worry about it. But oh my god, I'm gonna have to go ask another family member. Holy crap, what is going on? Try a towel. Give it a go. It's fine. Give it a go. More grip. Did you get it?
I got it.
You got it? Oh my god. Don't open it. Oh, no, you opened it.
Ow. Oh, I just got rug burn on my thumb so bad.
Better you than me.
You better keep that
Sucker. I'm not keeping that in because you were cussing.
Keep that in the freaking video.
Thank you. I can't be having no cussing in my videos here on Jacob Jones Money. You know, Jacob Jones Money, you know, we got to be keeping all videos fully monetizable, I will acknowledge. My brother did actually end up opening this bottle, though, with a dirty towel. I was trying to use a clean dish towel. They tried to use a clean dish towel. What did the trick? A dirty towel. And let me tell y'all what, I think that might be a whole alcohol sort of marketing thing, because after going through the hassle of opening this bottle right here, what do I now really want? Some alcohol. I really want some alcohol now. So I'm thinking that's like a whole marketing thing them making the cap really hard to get off, I think it's a combo child safety thing, and I think it's also them trying to make you want to drink more alcohol because you get frustrated trying to get the cap off. And then by the time you get the cap off, if you do at all, you really want some alcohol. So you drink the whole bottle in one night and then go buy another one the next day, and the process repeats over and over and over again. I don't know. Just my opinion. But without further ado, let's go ahead and open this bottle of Ypióca Cachaça, not for the first time, but let's go ahead and open it up nonetheless and take a look at the inside. We can see we got a little bit of a slow pour cap in there, which is quite nice. I will acknowledge I do like my slow pour caps, that is for sure. And smelling, I am very much smelling, ooh, okay, that's different from what I've smelled before from Cachaça, I will acknowledge. I am very much still getting that, I would say, of course, fermented sugarcane, sort of banana, fruity, sort of flavor that I've experienced, or scent that I've experienced from Cachaça before. However, there's definitely a little bit of a different sort of scent in there as well. There's definitely a little bit of caramel in there, for sure. Absolutely some sort of a caramel sort of scent in there, possibly coming from the caramel color, possibly coming from the barrels that the Cachaça was aged in. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, okay. And I would have to say, a little bit of caramel, maybe some brown sugar in there as well, and a little bit of a, I would say a little bit of a woodsy flavor to some degree, although it is quite mild. This definitely does smell just a little bit different than Cachaça I've tried before. Cachaça I've tried previously is just a straight up fermented sugarcane juice, sort of banana, fruity-like flavor, more so than not, or smell more so than not. Cachaça kind of smells how it tastes in my experience. This, on the other hand, it's got that going on, but yeah, a little bit of that caramel, a little bit of that brown sugar, and yeah, that's kind of what's going on. A little bit of that wood as well, kind of thing. Yeah, overall, that's very much what the scent of the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça is actually like. Without further ado, let's go ahead and pour some in my glass I have with me today, and let's go ahead and take a look at what it actually looks like. And this is definitely not quite as dark as I was expecting. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit darker, but no, not terribly so, not terribly so. It is a much darker color than the clear Cachaça I have tried so far, though, I will acknowledge. And let's go ahead and smell this Cachaça in the glass I have with me today. And overall, in the glass, I would say I'm getting a, excuse me, a little bit more of a mild scent. I would have to say the smell of the Ypióca Reserva is a little bit more mild in the glass than it was in the bottle. That is kind of to be expected. That's pretty typical for liquors, I will acknowledge. Not all the time, but sometimes for sure. And overall, the scent, I would have to say, is less prominently Cachaça now and is just more mild as a whole, but there's also, I would have to say that wood flavor became a lot more prevalent. I would have to say that that caramel sort of scent definitely is still very much in there, along with that brown sugar, and the sort of fruity, fermented sugarcane juice is still very much in there as well. So overall, in the glass, I would have to say the smell of the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça is very much that of a, yeah. I would say it's very much that of a caramel, brown sugar, fermented sugarcane juice, fruity banana scent with some other fruits going on in there, and an undertone of, I would say, a little bit of a woodsy sort of scent. And that's very much what the scent of the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça is, I will acknowledge. I'm going to go and take a little bit of a sip of water real quick, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and get to drinking. Opening the bottle took me way longer than I expected. I'm going to have to cut that segment up. One, because my brother was cussing, and I have to make sure that this video remains fully monetizable, of course, but that was also just like genuinely 10 minutes. That was so long trying to get like the cap off the bottle. That was kind of crazy, I'll acknowledge. That cap, this is like the worst bottle cap of all time. I hate it. It's absolutely horrible. I don't know if that's standard for like Ypióca, like Cachaça, or like the Ypióca Reserva in specific, but that cap is like demon spawn, I swear. But without now talking more about the cap and getting back on topic, I do think without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and drink the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça from Brazil for the very first time. It's time for me to try Ypióca Cachaça from Brazil for the very first time in general, and it's time for me to try aged Cachaça for the very first time in general as well. 3 firsts going on during this video today. Big ball of moves, you know what I'm saying? Without further ado, let's take a sip and let's find out just how this stuff really is. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? I would say flavor-wise right off the bat, it's definitely the sort of fermented sugarcane juice flavor, which for the 2 Cachaças I've tried so far, the Cachaça 51 and Jamel, that flavor is like super prevalent. This, on the other hand, it's really taken down a notch. It's heavily taken down a notch. It's not nearly as overwhelming, I will acknowledge. And while I've only taken very small sips so far, I am also thinking that this is quite smooth as well. Compared to the Cachaças I've tried so far, this is definitely a lot less harsh on the throat in my personal opinion. The overall mouthfeel, in my opinion, is very much that of a watery but slightly sort of sweet mouthfeel. It's more watery than not overall mouthfeel-wise, but there's definitely a little bit of sweetness in there, and that leads to just a tiny bit of syrupiness as well, I will acknowledge. But yeah, overall, more watery mouthfeel than not. A little bit of sweetness in there. Very nice. Feel like I need to burp. Not sure if I do. Kind of feel like I do need to. Kind of want to burp before I take my next sip because I don't want to burp mid-sip by any means. I think I'm good. Let's grab a thumbnail just real quick, just in case, though. You know, gotta grab a thumbnail, of course. Gotta do it. Yeah, this stuff is really smooth. Wow, yeah. Okay, with that sip, I took a little bit of a bigger sip. Definitely, I'm like a little bit of harshness in the back of my throat, but oh my goodness, when compared to the Cachaça that I have tried previously, it is easy to sip on. The Cachaça 51, the Jamel, they're not meant to be sipping Cachachas. Me sipping them is very much out of the ordinary if I had to hazard a guess. The closest you get to drinking those straight most of the time, I imagine, is shotting them, and even then, I don't know if that really happens to any real degree. This absolutely is a Cachaça that is meant for sipping. It is smooth. It's got a nice flavor profile to it. Nothing too crazy by any means, but pretty nice nonetheless. And overall, gotta admit, yeah, pretty solid. No complaints. Now, overall flavor-wise, just describing the flavors just kind of as they're coming, and I may change kind of my perspective on the flavors over time as I continue drinking more, but the flavor, in my opinion, right now, is that of a prominently sort of caramel flavor with an undertone of brown sugar. Then after that, you get that fermented sugarcane juice flavor with a little bit of fruit. I would say there's a little bit of both pineapple and banana in there. I would actually say the pineapple is more prominent than the banana in this Cachaça. And a little bit of a woodsy flavor. Yeah, not too much, but there's a little bit in there, I feel like. And that's kind of the flavor I'm getting from the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça just right off the bat kind of thing. I've got more alcohol to drink and I've got more alcohol to pour. So I do think I will be drinking more during this video today because I want some more liquor and because this is pretty good to drink straight, I ain't gonna lie. So I'm going to be drinking more. Now, I do want to acknowledge, while the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça is very solid to drink straight, I find it to be quite smooth. The flavor is a little bit different. It's a little bit more mild than the other Cachaça varieties that I've tried so far, in my personal opinion. One thing to acknowledge is that the flavor is nothing crazy. It doesn't make me go, wow. It's different than what I've tried before, for sure, but the flavor depth, nothing insane by any means kind of thing. It's a good Cachaça to sip on, but it's not a sipping Cachaça that I personally feel like will keep you interested if it's something that you drink all the time. I'm finding this very interesting because it's my first time drinking it, but after I get through this bottle kind of thing, will I find another bottle of the Ypióca Cachaça Reserva to be super interesting to sip on and everything like that kind of thing? I don't think so. I think the flavor I get will be what I've already experienced, no more, no less, and I think that's kind of how it's going to be with the Ypióca Reserva. It is very much designed to be an affordable aged Cachaça, from what I can tell at least. That is very much what it is meant to be, and due to the not insanely high-end price tag, of course, they want to give you a reason to go higher end than this bottle right here, so they can't give you it all. For the $11.12 USD that I paid for the bottle, they can't give you it all. And so I'm sure if you want a slightly more intriguing taste, or maybe something with a little bit more depth to it, you've got to go up a notch in the Ypióca lineup. But overall, I mean, like, this flavor itself, while it really is nothing crazy by any means, and the depth of the flavor is nothing insane, I will acknowledge, what this liquor does is taste good. It tastes good. It's smooth. It tastes good. It doesn't burn the back of my throat, and it's just enjoyable to sip on. It's nothing insane. It's nothing crazy interesting by any means, but it's a solid sipper that's enjoyable to sip on. Not crazy interesting, but enjoyable to sip on, and it's something that I don't mind drinking by any means. This is probably the most similar Cachaça I've had to rum so far. Now, I don't think there's really any rums that are coming to mind as something that is super comparable to this Cachaça, I will acknowledge. Some people say Cachaça and rum are super similar in that they're really closely aligned. Yes, they're both made out of sugarcane products or byproducts. However, I personally find the flavor of rum and Cachaça to be very different. Most similar to agricole rum has been my experience, but very different nonetheless, and even different than agricole rum in my personal opinion. And even though this is aged in oak barrels like some rum is, even then, while there are some now similarities, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of brown sugar, that undertone of the sort of fermented sugarcane juice and a little bit of banana, a little bit of pineapple really does separate the Ypióca Reserva from rum, like let's say the Appleton Estate or the Mount Gay or something along those lines. Overall, I gotta admit though, a solid sipper, and one that I am not mind sipping on right now. And I mean, like, since I am sipping on some alcohol right now, you know, I'm wanting something. I'm not wanting food. I'm not wanting video games. I'm not wanting bacon, unlimited bacon. I'm wanting one of these. I'm wanting one of these. So I'm going to have one of these, and I'm going to continue sipping on my Cachaça that I have in front of me today. And I'm going to see if there's anything else that I notice from the flavor. And before I go ahead and get this going though, let's go ahead and enjoy the bird squeaks real quick, the bird calls real quick, I think is the better way of putting it. I do have a slight buzz coming on, I will acknowledge, but The more that I drink, the more that I think there is a little bit of a chocolate flavor in there, I will acknowledge. I do think there is a little bit of a chocolate flavor in there. Yeah. Huh. Okay, interesting. Okay. Maybe I underestimated this Cachaça. You know, the moment I saw it had caramel color in it, I went, I don't know. But I think I might have underestimated it because the flavor has developed. It has changed. Or maybe I've just noticed more. Who knows? Could go either way, I will acknowledge. Okay, interesting. I now feel like I am getting a prominently wet yet dry, moderate chocolate flavor. Not quite like dark chocolate, not quite like milk chocolate. There's a little bit of milk chocolate, a little bit of dark chocolate, but it's not truly bitter like dark chocolate. But there's a little bit of bitterness in there, but it's sort of a medium chocolate sort of flavor with undertones of a little bit of brown sugar and then caramel. And then I'm getting that fermented sugarcane juice flavor with a little bit of the banana and pineapple and then banana, and then a little bit of a, I think, woodsy sort of flavor as well in the very background kind of thing. Okay, this Cachaça is kind of making me eat my words, I'll acknowledge. Because it has changed. The depth has more going on than I initially thought. And I wasn't impressed at first. I took a couple sips and I was like, it's nothing crazy kind of thing. But, you know, hey, it's a solid sipper, so how can I complain? No. This is more than just a solid sipper. This has a dynamic flavor to it. Now, will it have a dynamic flavor every time I drink it from now on? That I don't know. But it does for the first experience, and that's good enough for me. Yeah. Medium chocolate. There's a little bit of bitterness in there. A little bit of a sort of milky cream, caramel sort of thing going on in there as well. Medium chocolate, I would really say, is the right way of describing it. Very interesting, very cool. Okay, cool. My hand, though, where I was trying to untwist the cap of the bottle, it's all red, and it actually hurts, and I can feel it just a little bit kind of popping up, and it's like thinking about making a blister right there. Bro. That bottle cap is whack. I didn't like that very well either. Get another shot. I can't believe I needed my brother's help to open my alcohol bottle. My brother don't even drink alcohol, and I needed their help to open my alcohol. I can't believe this. I got a nice buzz going, though, I'm not gonna lie. That 38% is getting me solid. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. 38% be hitting for sure. It is double of 14%, so it does make sense after all. You know, this stuff is pretty dang smooth, though. Can't quite sip on it like wine. Wine is like, man, I ain't straight up chug it kind of thing, but okay, I can't quite chug wine. I could if I really wanted to, but I don't think I want to. I wouldn't want to chug wine, but I think I could if I had to. I wouldn't want to chug this, but out of the Cachaças I've tried, I think this is probably the best shotting Cachaça. It's just the smoothest, and it's also just genuinely the best sipping Cachaça kind of thing. Now, in my opinion, due to the added caramel color and due to the aging, you do kind of lack some charm that you get from other Cachaças, other unaged Cachaças. One of the reasons why I really like the unaged Cachaças is because that sort of fermented sugarcane juice flavor with the banana and the pineapple and some other fruits going on kind of thing. I really like that flavor in the unaged Cachaças just because it's so different, it's so unique from anything else I've had before. And it's just so different kind of thing, and I really like it. I do think it is a love it or hate it flavor, but it's a flavor that personally I really like. This, on the other hand, in my opinion, it kind of loses some of that charm that the previous Cachaças I've tried have had, just due to the fact that there is that sort of chocolate flavor, that is their caramel flavor, there's that brown sugar flavor, and that's flavors that I've gotten from whiskey and from, rum before and everything like that kind of thing. This is more along the lines of what I've tried before, but in being more along the lines of what I've tried before, being more similar to rums and whiskeys that I've tried previously, it loses some of the charm that Cachaça has, I will acknowledge. I think to get the true Cachaça experience here in Brazil, you gotta drink an unaged Cachaça. And then you go to the aged stuff to actually like drink straight and stuff like that kind of thing. You use the rest of your unaged bottle to make caipirinhas or caipirinhas, as they're pronounced, I believe, or other mixed drinks. Like, let's say a Cachaça and Sprite, or Cachaça and Soda Limonada, or Cachaça and Fanta, or Cachaça and Coke, or Cachaça and Pepsi, or Cachaça and Guarana. I do think this would pair pretty well with Guarana, though, I will acknowledge. I don't think I have a can in the refrigerator. I don't think I have a can. I don't believe I do. I believe I'm all out of Guarana. I could check, though. Well, I'll wait until I'm done with this. And I'm already pretty buzzed anyway. I don't really need more alcohol, but, I mean, like, you know, how am I going to complain about having more alcohol? I'm not. Out of the 3 Cachaças I've tried so far, including this one, because this is the third distinct different Cachaça that I have tried so far, which one is the best for sipping on? Well, it's this one. It's the Ypióca Reserva. This is the best sipping Cachaça I've had so far. It's got the most dynamic flavor. Not the most interesting flavor, in my opinion, but the most dynamic flavor for sure. And overall, it's very smooth. It's a good sipper. They weren't lying on the back of the bottle. This stuff's pretty solid to drink straight. Ooh, took a little bit of too big of a sip there, though. And I gotta admit, this does pair quite well with the Ypióca Reserva as well, I will acknowledge. It's getting a little bit dark out here, though. It's currently 5:27. We've got like 3 minutes till sunset. And man, the sky is gorgeous. It's been like cloudy all day. This is like the first blue sky I've seen all day. Like literally, I went on a little bit of a walk earlier. Went to like a botanical garden, and then I went on like a 30-minute walk, like along a highway and stuff like that kind of thing. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. I really enjoyed myself. But it was cloudy the entire time. But now the blue sky comes out. It is gorgeous, let me tell y'all what. That is beautiful. The nature in Brazil, I gotta admit, not to be underestimated. It is very pretty. Coming back here to the Airbnb, I was surprised though. The road was like low-key kind of flooded. It hasn't rained at all today. It stopped raining at like 1 a.m. last night kind of thing. So it hasn't been raining at all today. So the road's been flooded for quite a while now. But the road has been flooded nonetheless. I was kind of surprised that the road was kind of flooded, but it kind of was. I'll acknowledge I had lanes shut down and everything. I kind of want to check to see if there's a guarana or any other mixer inside. I might just mix this with some water, low-key, like water and Ypióca Reserva. Kind of tempting, I'll acknowledge. Kind of tempting. I'm also going to turn on a light because it's kind of getting a little bit dark out here. I've got some lights on, but I need to turn some more on. Try not to flashbang myself. Here we go. How's the lighting now? Is this too bright for me? Is this too bright? How's the lighting? What are we feeling? Oh yeah, no, that's decent. That's decent. I'll take that. It's not too bright in my face from this angle, but it certainly is there, that is for sure. I will take the lighting as it is. No complaints on my behalf. I'm going to finish this off and check the refrigerator for mixers. I haven't gone by the store today to buy mixers or anything like that kind of thing, so I think I am out of mixers, but I kinda want to try mixing this with like Sprite or some, or any other soda I have in the refrigerator. I want to try this as a mixer, basically, is what I'm trying to say. The Ypióca Reserva, though, solid. I'll acknowledge, though, I don't think it's my favorite Cachaça. I don't think it is. It is the best drink straight, no question in my mind, when it comes to smoothness, at least. But it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's not as unique as the Cachaça 51 or the Jamel. I would have to say my favorite Cachaça of the three I've tried so far is the Cachaça 51, then probably the Ypióca Reserva, then probably the Jamel. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and stub this out, and I am gonna go check the refrigerator for mixers. I'll be back. So it turns out there were actually some mixers in the refrigerator. There was 2 Sprites, 2 Coca-Colas, and I decided to get a can of Coca-Cola out. This is Brazilian Coca-Cola, of course. And I chose the Coca-Cola over the Sprite because the Ypióca Reserva is an aged Cachaça with a little bit of a chocolate caramel flavor to it. I've tried Coca-Cola with Cachaça before. Found it to be meh, I'll acknowledge. However, that was with unaged, that was with unaged Cachaça. That was with the Cachaça 51 to be precise. I think since this one is aged, I think it's going to go a lot better with the Coca-Cola. And I think that's going to be pretty solid. So we're going to give it a go. We're going to see how that is in just a little bit. But I'm going to drink the rest of this first. Man, standing up and kind of going into the refrigerator and stuff like that kind of thing and finishing off what I had in regards to this, you know, I'm feeling pretty nice right now. I'm not feeling like super buzzed, but I'm just feeling like nice right now, I will acknowledge. Now, before I go ahead and finish this off, I want to accurately describe the flavor in full and give you guys my final thoughts on the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça as a straight drinker kind of thing. As a drink to have straight, I want to give you guys my thoughts on the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça. So I think I'm going to do that in just a moment after I take another sip or two. Good sipper, though. I mean, like, this stuff is smooth. This stuff is smooth. It's interesting. I mean, like, the more I gotta admit, I really wasn't expecting this at the beginning of the video, at the beginning of the drinking session, to be precise. I underestimated the Ypióca Reserva. I did. I saw the caramel color and I went, I don't know, Chief. I don't know. And I tasted it right from the very beginning and I was like, I don't know. But the more I drink it, the more the taste does develop. I gotta admit, the Ypióca Reserva does have a surprisingly dynamic flavor to it. A more dynamic flavor than honestly I expected, I will acknowledge. And that is very interesting. Took a little bit too big of a sip there. So I would say the flavor of the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça is very much that of a sweet, savory, and slightly spicy flavor with undertones of a slightly creamy caramel milk chocolate with an undertone of a little bit of dark chocolate. Then under that, there is... Let me try that again. Let me take another sip, and I'm gonna try that again. So I would say, yeah, okay. So yeah, I think what I said as far as like overall flavor profile is accurate. Sweet, savory, slightly spicy, and bitter is the overall flavor profile. But with the flavor specifics, I would have to say you get that of a upfront, top and center, you're getting that of a slightly caramel, creamy, milk chocolate with an undertone of, not an undertone, but just underneath that flavor. So, yeah, you start off up top. With a little bit of that, yeah, I would have to say slightly caramel, brown sugar, creamy, milk chocolate with an undertone of slightly bitter, dark chocolate. And then underneath that, there is a little bit more milkiness, in my opinion, a little bit of wood, and then underneath all of that, you get a fermented sugarcane juice flavor, like Cachaça, of course. That's very much the Cachaça flavor you get from unaged Cachaça. And underneath that fermented sugarcane juice flavor, which is very mild, you get a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of banana, and that's the flavor right there. That's the flavor, in my opinion at least, of the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça. That's what the flavor of this liquor right here is actually like when drank straight. That's my personal opinion, at least, I will acknowledge. Overall, as a straight drinker, as a drink to have straight, the Ypióca Reserva, very solid, very good. I'm gonna say it. It's really good to drink straight, especially for the price kind of thing. It's definitely not as affordable as the Cachaça 51 at like $3 or Jamel at like $1.75 kind of thing. It's a little bit more expensive, but to my American perception of price, this has exceeded all expectations, especially for the amount of liquor you get. Especially since there's caramel color in it. I'll be honest, when I saw the caramel color, I was like, ah, man. Okay, all right. It's probably gonna be okay kind of thing. We're gonna get a little bit of that flavor in there for sure, but man, I don't know. No, this has genuinely exceeded my expectations that I had for it. The flavor itself is surprisingly dynamic, and surprisingly it develops quite a bit over time. The Cachaça is very smooth, smoother than any other Cachaça I've ever had when drank straight. And overall, it's just very solid drink straight in general kind of thing. The Ypióca Reserva, you know, I gotta admit, I'm impressed. I gotta admit, it's smooth, the flavor develops, it's solid to drink straight. As something to drink straight, in regards to Cachaça, it is the smoothest, and it also, without a doubt, has the most dynamic flavor of all the Cachaça I've tried so far. But it just doesn't quite have the charm of Cachaça. It tastes like, not like, it has a flavor profile that has aspects of whiskey and rum, which I think is by design. I think that's by design. But due to that design, due to that intention, it has become, in my opinion at least, a less unique alcoholic beverage from my American perspective. And so as such, the Ypióca Reserva is not my favorite Cachaça to drink straight, and it's not my favorite Cachaça I've had so far. When drank straight, it is my second favorite. The Cachaça 51 is my number one, though, I'll acknowledge. But the Ypióca Reserva, it is my number two. It is my number two. And it is the smoothest to drink straight. So if your goal is smoothness, and if you like a flavor with that caramel, like dark chocolate, milk chocolate kind of thing, you want a little bit of like a rum, whiskey sort of aspect going on with that, with the aging kind of thing, the Ypióca Reserva is gonna be the place to look. But if you want an intense flavor of Cachaça, that fermented sugarcane juice, sort of rotting flavor in the best way possible, you're not going to want the Ypióca Reserva. You're going to want something else, I will acknowledge. Not Jamel, though. That's just too sweet. But yeah, overall, as something to drink straight, I'm going to have to give the Ypióca Reserva a very solid 7 out of 10. Very solid 7 out of 10. I think it really is a very solid beverage to drink straight. It's got a dynamic flavor, a nice flavor. While it might not be the most unique thing in the world, flavor-wise, I do think the flavor is very nice, very solid, very enjoyable, and it's something that I do quite like. And overall, would I buy another bottle of the Ypióca Reserva? Honestly, I'd have to say I would. I totally would, kind of thing. I absolutely would. This is solid to drink straight. This is enjoyable to drink. I have enjoyed drinking this straight today. And I gotta admit, if I was buying another Cachaça to drink straight again in the future, I would probably buy the Ypióca Reserva over most other things. I'll acknowledge, over most other things, just because it is so smooth. But yeah, no, solid beverage. The Ypióca Reserva, it has exceeded my expectations and has kind of changed what I have experienced and what my expectations are for Cachaça as a whole. This has been my first time drinking aged Cachaça. It's definitely different than unaged, that's for sure. And first time trying Ypióca Cachaça, gotta admit, it's exceeded my expectations in flavor dynamicness, without a doubt. And also in smoothness as well. I was totally expecting a rougher beverage. No, this is quite smooth. Excuse me. I'm buzzed, though. But yeah, the Ypióca Reserva, solid. We're good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try some with Coca-Cola, though. So let's go and pour myself just a little bit more. Not too much more. Just a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? I think that will do. And I'm going to try some with Coca-Cola. And we're going to find out just how that is as well, I will acknowledge. There was some sort of noise that just happened. I was like, what was that kind of thing? I don't know what that was. It was like a very shaky sort of bass noise. Bass noise, not bass. Not like the noise of bass the fish, but a very bass noise. Dogs definitely heard it for sure. Crack this open real quick. Did I do it again? I totally did it again. I lit this wrong. Let's take a sip of my first ever Ypióca Reserva and Coke. My first ever Ypióca Reserva mixed drink. And let's find out just how the Ypióca Reserva is as a mixed drink as well. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, this is way better with Coca-Cola than, like, any other Cachaça I've tried so far. I say as I've only tried 3 Cachaça varieties. Yeah, no, this is good. This is good. This is just as good as a rum and coke. This is better than a whiskey coke. This is good. Oh yeah, the Ypióca Reserva. Wow, it pairs really nicely with the flavor of Coca-Cola. No, that is very solid. I don't think the Ypióca Reserva will be a good mixer with everything by any means, like with Sprite. I think go with unaged Cachaça. Go with Cachaça 51 or Jamel for sure. With Soda Limonada or Guarana. Actually, with Soda Limonada, unaged, Guarana, I think either unaged or the Ypióca Reserva. I think both could be used. That's kind of what the flavor of it is like, in my opinion. I think either could be used, but with Coca-Cola, this is a very solid. This is a very solid mixer. No complaints. That's just straight up good. That's just straight up good. No question in my mind. That's just straight up good. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the Ypióca Reserva, I gotta admit, it's not just good to drink straight. No, don't get me wrong, it's not as good as, like, let's say the Appleton Estate or something like that. Appleton Estate, like 12 year or something like that kind of thing. That is my favorite rum of all time. The Ypióca Reserva does not go into the same category as that. But it is a very solid, beverage to drink straight, and it makes for a great Cachaça and Coke as well. So if you guys want to make Cachaça and Cokes, Ypióca Reserva, look no further. Ooh, that's nice. I think I'll have a second. It's getting a bit chilly out here, though. The sun is definitely going down. I'm glad I turned that light on, because without the light, I would have pretty bad lighting out here right now. But the lighting is actually kind of just fine. One, because it's still a bit bright, and two, because I turned that light on, which is honestly kind of goated, I'll acknowledge. Gotta admit, I've had a good day today. I have. It's been a good day here in Brazil. You know, tried some new alcohol. It exceeded my expectations by all means. I went on a little bit of a walk with my family. I ate some good food at a good restaurant with some options that I could eat kind of thing. Yeah. Brazil's treating me right. It's treating me good, I gotta admit. Brazil's treating me good. Florianopolis, it's a beautiful area, gorgeous area. I've never been to Rio or Sao Paulo. Maybe I should visit eventually, I will acknowledge. But Florianopolis, it's really chill. It's really nice, and I really like the nature around here. This is I gotta admit, a location that I would absolutely come back to, not just for the price of cigarettes and alcohol here, which is very nice, but also for the nature and just for the chill vibes, honestly. I could totally see myself coming here again. Florianopolis is a very nice spot, no question in my mind. I'm gonna go make another drink. I want another one. This is really nice. It's kind of crazy. Excuse me. I've only got a weekend left here in Brazil. Like, it's Friday today. And don't get me wrong, like, over the next couple days, I do fully intend on making, like, more than one video a day. But, like, I've only got, like, a couple more days left here. I've really enjoyed my time here in Brazil. It's been a great little vacation, I gotta acknowledge. Excuse me. Trying some new alcohol, trying some of these. It's been a good time. And I gotta admit, I think today was one of my favorite days of the trip. Went for a little bit of a walk, checked out some new places I've never been before, saw some beautiful nature. It's been great. This has been a great day, I gotta acknowledge. This has been a great day. Absolutely, without a doubt. No complaints on my behalf. Brazil is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm looking forward to coming back whenever the opportunity occurs. And I'm looking forward to drinking the rest of my drink as well. I got like half a beverage left. I want to drink the rest of this. I'm buzzed. I'm talking about my trip like it's the last day here. It's not. I've got like a full weekend ahead of me, but like the weather here is so nice. It is winter here in Brazil right now, and so like I'm sitting in like 55-degree weather right now. This is really nice. I'm loving this. This is super nice. I go back home, it's gonna be 95 degrees. It's gonna be 95 degrees. Fahrenheit, not Celsius, I wanna acknowledge. It's gonna be a bit warm. I'm loving this weather. Like my favorite temperature when it comes to like nice days is like 65 to 75 degrees. Up to like 80 degrees, down to like 60 degrees. That's like the optimal temperature that I really like. Just good weather. That's just how it is kind of thing. That's just like the optimal temperature. But I do deal better with cold weather than hot weather. Hot weather, I just feel like, oh my God, it's too hot kind of thing. I don't wanna leave the AC. I just want to stay inside all day. I love the cold weather, and so it's been really nice coming here in Brazil. Coming here to Brazil, to say that correctly. And enjoying a little bit of the winter here. It's been really nice. Excuse me. We can hear the ocean just a little bit in the background. Here's something walking around. I don't know what. I saw an armadillo the other day. I was walking like towards the beach, or no, I was walking back from the beach because I went for a walk on the beach late at night. And I was walking on the path back from the beach, which is not very long, but I saw an armadillo. My first ever time seeing an armadillo in the wild. I was like, holy crap, there's an armadillo? Oh my God, it just skirted right across the path in front of me. I was like, holy crap, this armadillo is ballin'. That was really cool. I saw an armadillo for the first time in the wild. I want to acknowledge, I've seen armadillos in zoos and stuff before, but I saw an armadillo in the wild for the first time here in Brazil a couple days ago. That was epic. That was super cool. I'm probably going to mention that in future videos too, because that was so awesome. Tried to see some capybaras today. Tried to see some crocodiles today. Didn't happen. I didn't see any, but it's a bit chilly. It's a bit cold. It's a bit flooded in some areas. It's been raining a lot over the last couple days, so didn't see any capybaras, but it would have been really cool if I did. But I'm just very glad to have seen an armadillo a couple days ago. That was awesome, I gotta acknowledge. And I think that was all there was to my final drink of the video. Man, I gotta admit. Yeah, the Ypióca Reserva is very solid with Coca-Cola. It's a great mixer with Coca-Cola. I think it would be a great mixer with Pepsi too. And probably with Guarana as well, if I had to hazard a guess. Excuse me. I have thoroughly enjoyed drinking some Ypióca Reserva. Let me grab the bottle. I have thoroughly enjoyed drinking some Ypióca Reserva straight tonight now, because it's no longer daytime, it's now nighttime. I've thoroughly enjoyed drinking some Ypióca Reserva straight today. And I've thoroughly enjoyed just drinking in general. I gotta acknowledge, drinking it in a mixer, drinking it straight. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I've had a great time. And, you know, I gotta admit, as a mixer, I don't think the Ypióca Reserva is gonna go with everything by any means. But I do think everything that rum and whiskey goes with, it's going to go with. So let's say Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper kind of thing. RC Cola, haven't tried an RC Cola and whiskey yet, but I need to try that. Probably going to go well though. But yeah, any sort of like caramel chocolate flavored soda, I think is going to pair very well with the Ypióca Reserva, I will acknowledge. And overall, it's a great mixer for sodas like that. I don't think it'll pair very well with Sprite, but overall, I'm going to have to give the Ypióca Reserva Cachaça that I tried for the very first time today a very solid. What do I want to give it? I want to give it a very solid... I'll give it a 6 out of 10. No. It was very smooth as a mixer, so I'll give it a very solid 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 as a mixer. Yeah. I'm tempted to give it an 8 out of 10 because it is really nice as a mixer for Coca-Cola and stuff, but it's only a good mixer for Coca-Cola and stuff. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah. So overall, my rating for the Ypióca Reserva, which is the first Ypióca branded Cachaça I've ever tried. My rating for it is a very solid 7.5 out of 10, which I think is a very deserving rating, honestly. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing insane, it didn't make me go wow by any means, but actually to some degree it kind of did, because it kind of surprised me with how dynamic the flavor is when you drink it straight. But overall, solid beverage, but nothing insane by any means. Nothing insane, but a very solid beverage nonetheless that I have thoroughly enjoyed drinking today. Am I very glad to have tried the Ypióca Reserva? Am I very glad to have tried Ypióca Cachaça for the very first time? So I am. And I'm very glad to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Final thoughts, would I buy a bottle of the Ypióca Reserva again? Yes, without a doubt, I absolutely would. To drink straight and to mix with Coca-Cola, absolutely no question in my mind. Would I buy a case of Ypióca Reserva? Probably not, no. Probably not, but I totally would buy another bottle again. Will I enjoy drinking the rest of my bottle? I probably don't have enough time to finish off the entirety of the bottle, but I'll enjoy drinking the rest that I can. And would I buy another bottle again? I think I already said this, but yes, I totally would. I'm buzzed right now, but I've had a great time. And I'm very glad to have tried the Ypióca Reserva today, and I'm very glad to have tried a Ypióca branded Cachaça for the very first time. It's a pretty notable brand from what I've heard, and so glad to have given it a go, I will acknowledge. And I think that's just about all I wanted to say for this video today. Make sure to check out my new poetry book, Poems to Read While Smoking Cigarettes. If you guys want to read the absolute best poems to read while smoking cigarettes, this is the book for you. And if you guys want to read poems to read while smoking cigarettes, well then this is the book for you, of course. The poems within this book, they're not good poems, but they are good poems to read while smoking cigarettes, and I do highly recommend my new poetry book, Poems to Read While Smoking Cigarettes, available for $14.99 on Amazon. Links in the description and comments down below. Make sure to go check it out if y'all want to. Appreciate all y'all watching this video today. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching. If you guys have enjoyed watching, of course, like, subscribe, and make sure to check out my everything else in the description down below. Appreciate y'all watching today's video. Let me know what you guys think of Ypióca Cachaça if you guys have tried it before. And until the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one.